So, what's going on in the Baki manga? We finally got the end of the sumo tournament arc, and what a surprise, all the main cast fighters won, apart from the only character everyone wanted to see win and demonstrate his current power, Katsumi, who pretty much just walked out of the fight. We also got some Yujiro stuff, quite sussy stuff to discuss, but more on that later. If you're new to the channel and enjoy Baki, make sure to subscribe and leave a like or Yujiro will come and It's been a while since I've done a video covering the material on the most recent Baki chapters, been like 40 or so chapters, so a little bit over a year I'd have to say, with a lot of those chapters being spent on hyping and explaining the new sumo dudes, and I won't lie, still can't remember a single name of any of them, even after rereading the arc just before creating this video. And honestly, I don't care to ever learn their names or to ever really see any of them again, even though we do actually see one of them according to the chapter 104 rules, but regardless, it felt like the author was trying too hard in respecting sumo while making the main characters shit on them. You can't really do both at the same time, even though that's what he kinda attempted. Now I'll go over the fights I didn't talk about in the previous video. Hanyaba's punches were cool, but that fight probably had the longest release schedule, so it kinda felt the most draining considering the amount of content in each chapter wasn't very much, like maybe one punch per chapter. And I also became aware that binging Baki is probably 10 times better than waiting for single chapters, but still I'll be reading new ones as they drop because that's what I do at this point. Then we have Katsumi's fight, the one I was personally most hyped for, to see what he can now do with Retsu's arm. On a side note, he does look a lot cooler and sicker now, mainly compared to his first design back in the Maximum tournament, as I recently did a reread of that for my How Strong Is Jack Hummer video, but Katsumi do be looking fire. I'm still pissed about how his fight ended, and if they had to make someone win from the sumo side, at least make the likes of Doppo Orochi lose, as winning for him doesn't really matter at this point and he's been going on a downward spiral for a while now, or even maybe Goki losing. But no, they had to make it Katsumi. And wasn't the whole point of this arc to show respect to sumo? With Katsumi just walking out probably being the biggest spit in the face to sumo, with that being their only win during the tournament, with it not even mattering at the point of Katsumi's fight, as Team Baki had already won the first 3, so it's not like they could have lost anyway, so not too sure the reasoning behind that and why it really happened. His arm moving alone like he was being possessed by Retsu was kind of interesting and probably the best part of the fight, so Retsu's legend can live on. But we do have the Retsu Isekai for that anyway, so it doesn't really need to stay around in the main Baki story for too long. I'm still excited to see Katsumi fusing his karate and Chinese Kempo together more as the story progresses, so hopefully we get to see that more in a future arc. After that we have Baki's fight, which pretty much went as expected. I don't think a single person who reads Baki had any doubt that Baki was going to win this fight, mainly considering that the fight is also in the Underground Dome, the place where Baki pretty much doesn't lose. So yeah, that was cool. Baki's jab was very sick and a nice and quick fight to move on. Of course, with the American election occurring during this arc, we needed to see Joe Biden and Yujiro beating on Trump, just the usual Baki greatness we all love to see. Then the final fight of the tournament, the battle of Ancient Sumo versus Grand Sumo, with our boy Sukune doing the breaking, the best thing that he's good at. And yeah, as a whole, the tournament had a few good moments. It's definitely more enjoyable on a binge read rather than weekly. Weekly was extremely painful, I won't lie about that, but I'm glad it's over. And now to get into the stuff we got after the tournament, which involves Yujiro and Susness. So as always, throughout all of Baki, we go from one arc to seeing Yujiro like every other time. A new way to hype up Yujiro is required, with the transition being Sukune saying this: "I understand, you know an ogre." Pretty cool, did create a pretty high level amount of hype. But yeah, this is what we learn about Yujiro. His male hormone was over 10 times of the normal range, with there being no mammals with levels that high, meaning one thing: Yujiro is male and all others are not, meaning Yujiro views everyone else in the world as females. It could have been left there, but the creator, I guess, wanted to demonstrate this, so we got to see Yujiro. Well, this kinda blew up in the Bucky fandom a little bit. The thing is, Yujiro has been like early Bucky. It's not something new, and I think the problem is that he, with the main audience of Bucky being males, it kinda, I don't know, triggered people somewhat. It's not like this is something new for Yujiro. A lot of people like lost their mind. It wasn't something completely out of the realm of possibilities that Yujiro could potentially do. Of course, I would prefer that Yujiro wasn't in Bucky, but he's been doing it since early Bucky, so him also a man shouldn't be as shocking as it was for such a large variety of people. But yeah, after that we had the Sukune vs Yujiro fight. It kinda went as expected, with us getting a pretty accurate or a better understanding of Sumo Boy's power and where to actually rank him for like a power ranking tier list. He was able to survive getting slammed to the ground by Yujiro, and also did an attack back, which it seemed like Yujiro countered with Zhao Li, but we don't actually know what he did. He could have just done the Kangen move of going limp to disperse the impact, but yeah, his attack did pretty much nothing to Yujiro, and then Yujiro's final punch pretty much ended him. Didn't knock him out, he did kinda firm the blow, meaning he would rank below Kakukaira and definitely not in the S tier anywhere near Pickle or Musashi or anything like that. Being above Oliver is pretty much where he sits currently. But we did have this kinda callback to Musashi saying Miyamoto would have respected him, you know, firming that blow, so that was pretty cool for him. And yeah, that's everything regarding the Yujiro vs Sukune fight, with Yujiro again with the threatening to the old man, but hopefully this is the last mention of this in Bucky forever. I don't want to keep having to, you know, read Yujiro threatening to or actually people. But yeah, that's pretty much everything up to date in the Bucky manga, with the most recent Raws showing the sumo dude who Sukune destroyed in the tournament coming back to try and fight Sukune and getting destroyed again. Hopefully we move on to a new arc, maybe a Hanma Bloodline arc, a Jack Redemption arc or something very interesting. But yeah, that's everything for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to join the Discord, subscribe, follow the Twitter, and as always, shout out to the people who support the channel via the Patreon. But yep, that's it guys, peace.